Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Jinyiwei. Breaking the temple to avoid rain, inviting the moon to beg for my help. In the world of martial arts, dynasties rise together, sects stand tall, and hidden currents surge. Xu Hao, who traveled to the Ming Dynasty, became a descendant of a distinguished and prestigious family. His other identity is a colonel of the royal guards. The awakening god-level inference system allows you to deduce everything with just an increase in money. Scan the Diamond Sutra and deduce the heavenly skill. Vajra Divine Skill. Scan the Tao Te Ching and deduce the Taiqing True Explanation of the Immortal level technique. Scan ordinary swordsmanship and perform the unparalleled sword technique. The God Slaying. Scan the Yellow Emperor's inner canon and deduce the unparalleled medical skills. On this day, the moon is dark and the wind is high, and the heavy rain is falling by the side of Tuo. Xu Hao was in a dilapidated temple, lighting a fire to bake. The soaked clothes on his hands, the master of the white-clothed palace, inviting the moon, smashed through the temple gate and fell by the fire. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001 Rainy Night, Broken Temple, Royal Guards. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 001 Rainy Night, Broken Temple, Royal Guards. Ding. Congratulations to the host. After deduction, the quality of Diamond Divine Skill has been improved again, and it has been upgraded to a heavenly level skill for you. Finally upgraded. The rain outside the dilapidated temple is pattering, and the night is like ink. Xu Hao withdrew his gaze, and a hint of surprise flashed on his dejected face. The firewood in his hand was thrown away, and flames sprang up in the fire, burning even louder with a crackling sound. Under the reflection of fire, the muscular lines of the upper body are fully exposed. The soaked flying fish suit had already been taken off, and water was still dripping from his hand. He didn't care about drying and couldn't wait to check the system. Host. Xu Hao, Identity. Colonel of the Royal Guards, Cultivation. Congenital Double, Task. Currently unavailable, Skills. Taiqing True Explanation, at the ground level, in the later stage of gaining a glimpse of the path. Vajra Divine Skill, at the sky level, in the early stage of ascending to the hall and entering the room. Shocking God / at the ground level, in the middle stage of achieving some minor accomplishments. Skill. Doctor's Hand, ascending the hall and entering the room. System Space. Taiqing Jinyiwei Cultivation Plate, Automatic Cultivation and Continuous Evolution. Vajra Divine Skill Cultivation Plate, Automatic Cultivation and Continuous Evolution. Jingshan Zhan Cultivation Plate, Automatic Cultivation and Continuous Evolution. Huangdi Neijing, Automatic Cultivation and Continuous Evolution. System All. Not yet open, Communication. Not yet open, Gold Coin Balance. 100, it's still too slow. Looking at the system attribute items, Xu Hao frowned slightly after being happy and was not satisfied. After all, this world of dynasties coexists with numerous powers. Except for the Ming Dynasty, there are also powerful kingdoms such as the Great Qin, Great Zhou, Great Song, Great Sui, Mongolian Yuan, Eastern Liao, and Eastern Ing. There are countless forces in the martial arts world, and even stronger ones are countless. Here, there is a lone wolf seeking defeat with a sword that breaks the river. Emperor Tai of the Yin-Yang family, who has the power to control the stars. Xiao Feng, who exudes chivalrous spirit. There is a cold and frosty invitation from the head of the Ihua Palace to the moon. There are also domineering side leaks, but the charming and charming East invincible, not to mention the numerous famous characters and hidden experts in past novels, movies and TV shows. Only in the capital of the Ming Dynasty, among the three major forces of the Royal Guards and the East and West factories, there are many innate and above strong ones, and it took Xu Hao more than 2 months to travel from the 5th level of cultivation to the 1st level of innate cultivation. Whenever you encounter a stronger opponent, you can easily crush them. Self-preservation is also worrying. If Xu Hao's thoughts at this moment were known by Shen Lian would probably spit out a mouthful of old blood. Warriors who don't know, every elevation of a great realm is like a chisel in the sky. In just 2 months, not only did he break through 5 small boundaries in a row, but he also broke through one big boundary. This already exists like a demon. Shen Lian has been practicing martial arts since childhood, from the 1st level to the 9th level, and it took him 10 years. It took another 3 years to break through from the 9th level of birth to the 1st level of birth. From congenital 1 to congenital 7, it took another 6 years. And Xu Hao, in just 2 months, it has been elevated from the 5th level acquired to the 1st level innate. For Shen Lian, it's no different from riding a rocket. Xu Hao shifted his gaze to the item of gold coin balance, and a gleam flashed in his eyes. I didn't expect the task reward to be credited before I even got home. What cultivation method should we use this time? His gaze scanned the practice options, his mind flickering. The Diamond Divine Skill has already entered the hall and room. I'm afraid even those with strong Grandmaster realm may find it difficult to harm themselves. The biggest weakness is actually in terms of attack power. His gaze froze and he stopped at Taiqing Jinyiwei and Jing Shenzhan. The levels of Taiqing Jinyiwei and Jing Shenzhan are too low, they are still at the beginner's level. Choose between 2. Xu Hao rubbed the center of his eyebrows with his fingers. The 2 halal solution is so profitable. Let's first improve our sword technique, God slaying. Think about it. In the system space, Xu Hao clicked on the divine/cultivation plate. A dialog box for whether to accelerate pops up in bars. He didn't hesitate to choose yes. The system immediately prompts that the cultivation tray is in an accelerated state. Xu Hao glanced at his balance and couldn't help but withdraw his savings at the corner of his mouth. There's no more coins. It has become 0 again. Gone. This divine level deduction system has incredible functionality. It can be automatically deduced, improved, and upgraded. Most importantly, it can cultivate automatically. Others practice martial arts. It requires constant cold and heat, countless hardships, and may not necessarily lead to breakthroughs. And Xu Hao, completely lying flat, all the hard work was done by the system. Just scan the object, generate a cultivation disk, and place it in the system space. A few months ago, he crossed over to a colonel of the Royal Guards. The cultivation level of martial arts is only 5 levels, which is as simple as a dish of chicken. Apart from a pile of miscellaneous and broken books, there are no other resources at all. Fortunately, this divine level deduction system was awakened. Afterwards, he scanned the Tao Te Ching. Unexpectedly, he performed a mysterious level martial arts technique called Taiqing Jinyiwei, which is an extremely mysterious internal mental skill. 2 months later, this skill has been refined from the mystical level to the prefecture level, and the realm has also been automatically cultivated until the later stage of the first glimpse of the path. Meanwhile, he scanned the Diamond Sutra, promote the performance of the mysterious skill Vajra Divine Skill. This is an extremely magical technique that combines the effects of protecting the body and killing enemies. This technique was later accelerated several times with gold coins. It has become a heavenly level skill and has reached the realm of ascending to the hall and entering the room. This is currently the most impressive skill. Additionally, during this period, he also scanned the basic sword techniques of the Royal Guards and deduced the divine slash, scan the Yellow Emperor's inner canon and promote the performance of anti-heavenly medical skills. However, although the system is against the sky, but the unfriendly aspect is also very obvious. It requires the consumption of coins. Scanning can generate a cultivation plate, which requires 100 gold coins. Automatic cultivation function, although it does not consume coins, but the speed is not particularly fast. But if you want to accelerate, sorry, we have to pay extra. Over the past 2 months, the gold coins awarded in the beginner gift package, as well as the rewards obtained from 2 missions, a total of over 700 pieces. Xu Hao devoted himself entirely to these 4 cultivation techniques. There are no more extra coins. Add other new skills for deduction. To obtain coins, you need to complete the system-triggered task. What can be done now? Just persevere and quietly earn coins to upgrade. Didi, the sound became louder and louder, coming clearly from the tiles on the house, waterlines, like bead curtains, fall from the cracks in the dilapidated tiles, splashing splashes of water in front of Xu Hao. Rain, it's raining even harder. Gone. If it weren't for this rain, I should be lying at home now, bathed and dressed by a little butterfly. Xu Hao shook his head and threw a few sticks of wood into the fire. The task reward of 100 gold coins, although it's a bit less, is better than not having it. At least you can accelerate the cultivation of shock god /. He fiddled with the wet flying fish suit in his hand, then leaned against the flames. How can a modern person get used to wearing wet clothes on their body? Fortunately, except for a broken arm statue crawling with spider webs, there is not a single ghost here. There are not so many concerns. Suddenly, Xu Hao's gaze froze and he looked at the dilapidated door that was lying open. Although Taiqing Jinyiwei is only in the later stage of gaining a glimpse into the path, but the strong foundation of internal skills made Xu Hao's senses exceptionally sensitive. Even if the sound of rain, wind, and water droplets merge into one, he still clearly caught the unusual fluctuations of the air conditioner outside the door. After a while, bang. With a loud bang, two doors burst open and flew towards both sides. The raindrops rolled and rustled in the wind. A graceful figure in white stumbled through the door. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Xu Hao was suddenly surprised again. In the world of Gulong, Guanyin has exceptional martial arts skills, as beautiful as a celestial being, but her heart is as ruthless as a snake and scorpion. She is a true female demon. He looked at the young woman. This should be the young version of Guanyin. I didn't expect to meet her here. Isn't this a blessing in disguise? How long has it been since I've traveled? Won't it just be so cool? Let him go. On Guanyin's jade face, a brilliant smile appeared. With a strong interest in his eyes, I walked up and down Xu Hao once again. With a smile on his face, he slowly said. Such a tasteful kid. If you don't eat it, I'll eat it. Then his gaze stopped on the pale face of Inviting Moon, and his face turned cold as he said. Besides, Inviting the Moon, do you still think that you have the right to say such things to me now? Xu Hao raised his sword eyebrows. My name is, insert name, in a past life. This stone Guanyin must be a sea king, a super scumbag. Is this what a person with an angelic face and a devilish figure can say? Her beauty is unparalleled, yet she exudes a slutty aura. If you had met me in a past life, you wouldn't have even left a scum behind. Although Xu Hao really wanted to say, come here, but as soon as I think about this being a cannibalistic world, my life still matters. Let's take a look and talk. Pooh, you. Stinky and shameless, Jinyiwei spat out a mouthful of black blood and said. If this dead zombie had not stood by and plotted against me with rainstorm pear blossom nails, would you have won me? I see. No wonder the Grand Princess of the Moving Flower Palace, who excels in martial arts, invites the moon. It will make such a mess. Originally, when facing the equally skilled enemy Guanyin, he was ambushed with malicious hidden weapons. This rainstorm pear flower nail is called the best concealed weapon device in the world. The great martial arts master Chen Daochang, who once dominated the 9 provinces, died under this hidden weapon. Inviting you has not died yet, which shows her profound martial arts skills. Guanyin's martial arts are already high enough. Surprisingly, someone was still on the side, using such a malicious hidden weapon to carry out hidden attacks. It is indeed despicable and shameless. Xu Hao's gaze turned and passed over the masked man. This person remained calm and exuded a chilling killing intent all over, standing there quietly, like a stone carving. Guanyin smiled and said, I have to say, your Ming Dynasty is really impressive. The Tianwu nerve that I cultivate, as well as the self-created man cannot see, can only be evenly matched with you. Inviting the moon with a cold snort, she said. Can't men see you? You're using your martial arts skills to deal with stinky men to deal with me. That's your lack of intelligence. Guanyin was not angry either and said lightly. You are very good. With a desperate blow, both Jing Wuming and I were injured. The Yihua Palace truly deserves to be called the Yihua Palace. Before I finish speaking, shoo. A sharp piercing sound suddenly rang out. A little black light shot out from the cuffs of the golden-clothed man, as fast as lightning. The direction of Wu Guang's intense ejaculation is undoubtedly the center of Xu Hao's eyebrows. Be careful. Inviting Moon scolded weakly, the sleeve of the right hand rolled up and met the black light. The sound of rustling silk echoed, and the black light pierced through the snow-white sleeves, shedding its weight without diminishing. Inviting the Moon to spit out a mouthful of black blood, under severe injuries, she found it almost impossible to concentrate her strength. Come on the Huangquan Road, there is no loneliness, accompanied by a handsome and muscular Jinyiwei. I'll strangle it. This is taking human life. Xu Hao was suddenly taken aback. I just wanted to see the excitement, do tasks or whatever I could, and run away whenever there was a chance. After all, in this level of struggle, one will become cannon fodder every minute. But he never expected that both sides had just met. This man in gold, who has been silent all along, is actually an old Yin coin, without any regard for military ethics, engaging in sudden surprise attacks. Moreover, one move is a killing move. What's even more outrageous is that, his target of action is not inviting the Moon, but rather oneself. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 003 Pooh, ignorant Jing Wuming, this is Vajra Divine Skill. You are listening at novel full.audio. 003 Pooh, ignorant Jing Wuming, this is Vajra Divine Skill. Guanyin was shocked and shouted, Jing Wuming, stop. She didn't expect that Jing Wuming would suddenly take action. She only has 3 success points left now, and she can't stop them in time. A hint of regret flashed in my eyes. Between lightning and flint, Wu Guang arrived in front of Xu Hao. Although Xu Hao's practice of Taiqing Jinyiwei was only in the later stages of gaining a glimpse into the path, but this practice is derived from the Tao Te Ching, and through systematic and continuous deduction, their strength is quite incredible. Every move of things around him is within his insight. When the distance is close, he can even perceive the fluctuations of his opponent's internal breathing. Jing Wuming's actions were naturally taken seriously by Xu Hao. The heavenly Diamond Divine Skill has entered the hall and is highly integrated with the physical body. Dang. The black light collided with the center of the eyebrows, and a sound of gold and iron clashed. At the point where the black light hit the center of the eyebrows, a layer of golden paint appeared, which quickly disappeared and returned to its original state. The black light bounced back and fell to the ground, like a small dark green arrow. Poisonous arrow. Everyone stared at this scene with widened eyes. Inviting the Moon with surprise in her heart, the martial arts cultivation of this genie guard is at most in the innate realm. The body protection technique is so miraculous, it doesn't seem like such a low cultivation level can be used. May I have taken a wrong look? In Guanyin's eyes, there are ripples of autumn water, showing appreciation on her face. She gave Jing Wuming a sharp glance beside her. With a smile on his face, he said. Oh my, little brother, you're hiding it so much. You have such handsome kung fu all over you, tsk. Jing Wuming looked at Xu Hao, with a look full of sarcasm in his eyes. He said, it's just a golden bell covering you, inferior martial arts. Xu Hao snorted coldly. I'm sorry, you rotten wood. You have shallow knowledge and are not afraid to laugh off people's big teeth. This is my Diamond Divine Skill. Isn't this Jing Wuming from Shengguan Jinhong? How did you become a follower of Guanyin? The money gang is indeed not a good person, and if they don't say a word, they will take their lives. If it weren't for the Diamond Divine Skill, with his current cultivation, he's going to shoot through his head. It's really ruthless. Jing Wuming's robe stirred, and his eyes shot out a fierce killing intent. Xu Hao's Taiqing True solution is constantly in operation. he realized that although the fluctuations in their qi were strong, but between the rotation of internal breathing, the obstruction is also obvious, obviously due to a considerable internal injury. Guanyin, who has excellent martial arts skills, although in the realm of a half-step great master, but after being injured, the force has greatly diminished. As for Jing Wuming next to him, his cultivation in the later stage of energy transformation, if it was in a state of full blood, I would still be wary, but now I have been injured, I'm afraid it's difficult to break through my Diamond Divine Skill, right? The mind is currently in a state of great calmness, there is hope in completing the task. Seeking death. Jing Wuming ignored the gaze of Guanyin, and his figure suddenly erupted. I don't know when I have an extra long sword in my hand that shines with cold light. The chilly sword energy swept up the rain and mist in the sky, like a white refining horse, chopping towards Xu Hao. Before the sword arrived, the surrounding air could no longer withstand the sword's momentum, and a sonic boom sounded. Xu Hao was completely fearless, looking at Guanyin, he smiled and said. Maren, you call yourself an unparalleled beauty, why don't you just bring such a combative and bloodthirsty scumbag and discipline them properly? Say it, block it casually. Dang! With a loud bang, the two figures shook back and their energy overflowed, forcing rain and mist to splash around. Xu Hao's hands covered in a layer of golden paint, which disappeared and remained unscathed. The long sword in Jing Wuming's hand had a gap the size of a teacup mouth. The vibration in his heart was even greater than the numbness in his wrist caused by a tremendous force. This sword is a divine weapon derived from the western regions, it is one of the national treasures of the Kucha kingdom, cutting iron like mud. He once used this sword to slay the 4th-ranked master Guanyin in the weapon list. Today, I was blocked by a mere Jinyiwei and almost turned into scrap metal. How could this person's Diamond Divine Skill be so incredible? A glimmer of hope flashed in the beautiful eyes of Inviting the Moon, but soon it dimmed again. I am injured and dying. The other party also has a stone Guanyin, this kid just got beaten up. Wait, this person is actually Jing Wuming. She couldn't help but look at Guanyin. Guanyin's expression was shrouded in a layer of frost, but soon regained her relaxed smile. It seems like nothing happened. Xu Hao thought that Guanyin would definitely deny it, but the next moment he was stunned. Guanyin stared straight at Xu Hao, fingers rolled up the drooping sideburns, exuding a myriad of charm, and softly said. Do you also have to take care of others' affairs? Maybe. Do you have that kind of interest in them? Stinky and shameless. Inviting the Moon to curse in her heart. But she was still a bit surprised. Guanyin and Jing Wuming have both become famous for a long time. Guanyin is the leader of the Wui Divine and Demon organization, who has killed countless people. He is a big demon even more than himself. Jing Wuming, on the other hand, is a proud figure of the younger generation of the Money Gang. It's the left and right hands of the gang leader Shangwan Jinhong, and the Qian gang is a force no weaker than the Yihua Gong. How could these two people be together? Could it be that Jing Wuming was interested in Guanyin? No wonder this calm and composed Jing Wuming appeared so restless at this moment. How can Guanyin get used to teasing men recklessly in front of him? Inviting the Moon couldn't help but look at Xu Hao. Dang 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 dang, the sound of metal and iron colliding incessantly. Jing Wuming danced his broken sword, and the sword energy in the broken temple was crisscrossing, ripples spreading everywhere. He unleashed a strange and eerie sword technique, continuously and swiftly piercing different parts. Xu Hao's whole body was covered in golden paint, like a golden statue. He was too lazy to answer Guanyin and happened to test the protective effect of Diamond Divine Skill, allowing Jing Wuming to stab and chop. Suddenly, a familiar voice rang out from his sea of consciousness. Ding, congratulations to the host. After deduction, your divine slash has been upgraded to the heavenly level, and your cultivation has reached a slightly higher level. The acceleration coins have been consumed, and it will restore normal deduction and automatic cultivation speed for you. Gone. Have you run out of coins again? He detected the cultivation level of the divine slash. As expected, it has already strengthened a lot unconsciously, and a faint realization has risen in the sea of consciousness. Just like having been familiar with martial arts for many years, there is no sense of unfamiliarity. Xu Hao still has no concept of how powerful it is. He couldn't help but look at the embroidered spring knife by the fire. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 004 Strange and unpredictable, men cannot see. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 004 Strange and unpredictable, men cannot see. Guanyin watched with great interest, blinking her big Cazalan eyes and saying, TSK, this physique is not only good looking, but also hard enough to practice. I just don't know, how long can you hold on? The devil head dares to say anything. Xu Hao can't help roast. She must have thought that her Diamond Divine Skill required constant distraction and energy transfer, attempting to distract oneself by speaking, so that Jing Wuming can take advantage of it, but I don't know that this technique has been highly integrated with the physical body. All reactions can be natural, there is no need for deliberate exercise to generate. Moreover, the Diamond Divine Skill is not only effective in protecting the body, it is also an extremely powerful forging divine skill that can unleash powerful physical strength. Xu Hao withdrew his gaze. At the corner of her eye, she caught sight of Inviting Moon spraying another mouthful of black blood, her spirit becoming increasingly lethargic. No, we can't wait any longer. Even if the chief of the flower-moving palace hasn't cooled down yet, let Guanyin restore her 5 success forces, and she herself is not a match. We must fight and decide quickly. Xu Hao suddenly punched out, with a golden fist and a wisp of afterglow. It struck towards the long sword that was chopping towards it. Fist shadow hits hard, long sword breaks into several pieces. Buzzing at this moment, the fist emitted a huge explosive sound, and it was only then that it spread out. The fragments of the broken sword roared towards Guanyin and flew away. Guanyin's long sleeves gently caress. The fragments were swept towards the door by strong energy, and disappeared into the rain curtain. However, Xu Hao's punch did not dissipate, and his punch hit Jing Wuming's sword-holding hand through the air. Bang! A muffled sound, mixed with the sound of broken bones. Jing Wuming screamed and flew backwards towards the door. Jing Wuming fell heavily in the wind and rain, splashing a splash of water. The right elbow is blood and flesh blurred, and a white stubble protrudes. The raindrops the size of soybeans are washing away the blood on top, and the white color is becoming more and more vibrant. Jing Wuming's eyes were severely drained. I don't understand why the explosive power of this person with lower cultivation is so amazing. Xu Hao's impression of Jing Wuming is really bad. This guy is ruthless and his moves are deadly. If I were an ordinary person, I would have died 18 times already. Although I can't kill him with this punch, his hand must be useless. I originally planned to go up and repair the knife, taking advantage of his illness to take his life, but Guanyin will definitely block his pursuit. Think about it or forget it. Guanyin didn't even glance at Jing Wuming, as if it were just a beaten wild dog. She continued to look at Xu Hao with a smile on her face. A hint of surprise flashed in my eyes, but with it came an undisguised appreciation. Xu Hao reached out and waved, and the embroidered spring knife had already arrived in his hand. At the same time, throw a pill to Inviting Moon and say, "This is the Pearl Eyes Ice Toad Pill, you must eat it now." Pearl-eyed Ice Toad Pill. Upon hearing this, Inviting Moon and Guanyin widened their eyes. This is a first-class healing potion in the martial arts world. The pearl-eyed ice toad comes from the top of the snow-capped mountains in the western regions, extremely precious. No matter how severe the internal injury or knife injury is, as long as you don't die on the spot, take a cold toad and the medicine will heal. If poisoned, this ice toad has even more detoxification skills. Absolutely a precious elixir that is hard to find. By chance, Shen Lian obtained some benefits. Xu Hao has refined many pills, and the brothers have divided them for life preservation. Inviting the Moon without hesitation, swallowing it all in one gulp. If one is seriously injured and poisoned, even if it is poison, it is just a poison added to the poison. Moreover, she intuitively believed that this royal guards would not harm her. Shi Guannin's gaze flickered and she said in a sticky voice. Little brother, you can't be biased. Sister, I also want one. With a wave of his hand, Xu Hao shot another pill towards Shi Guanyin and said, here. This is a type of overpowering drug found on the prisoner during this case investigation mission. The name is Peach Blossom Red. I left a few for studying the ingredients. Since this female demon wants it, give her a reward. Shi Guanyin was shocked. This kid is really on the road, just give him what he says. She saw the pill in her hand clearly, and her face changed slightly. I sniffed through my nostrils again. Eat quickly. Xu Hao exclaimed in his heart. He even began to imagine the scene after Shi Guanyin ate it. However, Shi Guanyin regained her charming smile as usual. He spat lightly at Xu Hao and said leisurely, little brother, you're really bad. Surprisingly, I carry such vulgar medicine with me. I'm afraid I've harmed many girls before. Actually, if you want your sister to serve you, just one sentence is enough. You need such a pill. Amidst laughter and conversation, the orange figure suddenly resembled a ghost. In a flash of lightning, he deceived Xu Hao and poked out his delicate jade palm, quietly patting towards Xu Hao's heavenly court. Inviting the moon's expression tightened, and her pupils contracted. Damn it, Shi Guanyin took action. This genie guard is going to die. Xu Hao has sharp senses. No matter how fast Shi Guanyin's body movements are, they cannot escape his eyes. At the moment when Shi Guanyin moved, his embroidered spring sword had also come out of its sheath. It's just that Shi Guanyin's speed is really too fast. The jade palm had almost touched the vital points of the heavenly court, and its keen and soft palm strength was like a venomous snake drilling wildly. Xu Hao's knife was just enough to be pulled out. The knife light exploded. Shi Guanyin suddenly felt a sense of condensation in the surrounding air. The true qi in the body suddenly stopped, and the intimidating sword qi seemed to pass through the body. She suddenly lost her beauty and forcefully raised Jinyiwei again, taking advantage of the recovery of Jinyiwei, quickly retreat. With a loud bang, a temple wall was shattered and scattered with rubble. Shi Guanyin straightened her messy sideburns. A pair of beautiful eyes exuded shock, unable to maintain the relaxed and mesmerizing smile. Since Jing Wuming was knocked away, she has been overestimating Xu Hao's combat power as much as possible. Even so, she still believes that, although this kid has the Diamond Divine Skill to protect his body, he is only a congenital cultivation. Perhaps it's because of his current injury that he wants to kill a young man who is only in the early stages of his cultivation. It won't take much effort, but that knife just now was really weird. Under the lock of the opponent's sword aura, one's true element unexpectedly stops in an instant. She couldn't help but feel a chill in her back. Even if there is a moment of stagnation, it is enough for a master to kill several times. If the cultivation of the royal guards in front of us is even higher, with only 3 remaining strengths, it is difficult to avoid breaking through. It's so close. Inviting the moon is also a half-step master realm. Why is martial arts training so rich? She could tell at a glance that Xu Hao's knife technique was extraordinary and mysterious. She is well aware of Shi Guanyin's martial arts, not to mention Tian Wu's nerves. It's just that kind of, men can't see it. Just now, I don't know how many experts I have killed, even if she and herself had both suffered losses before, but in just one move. It made her so embarrassed. It is not something that a novice warrior can achieve. This is also the reason for her previous worries. Surprisingly, this Royal Guards is so awesome. Not only does it have the extremely hard Diamond Divine Skill, with such a powerful knife technique, it seems there's no need to die this time. She looked at Xu Hao's gaze, and a hint of warmth flickered away. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 005 Hold on to the thigh of the moving flower palace tightly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 005 Hold on to the thigh of the moving flower palace tightly. Xu Hao was also surprised in his heart. This stone Guanyin shot too quickly. The extremely gentle palm just now was obviously used to specifically crack external martial arts. Even if you have the Diamond Divine Skill to protect your body, as the palm power enveloped the heavenly court, there was a slight dizziness in an instant. If Guanyin was not injured, wouldn't she be very dangerous? Fortunately, this divine slash is also good. There is still a big gap between myself and the strong masters. No, I need to improve my cultivation quickly. At this moment, Xu Hao has an unprecedented pressure to improve his cultivation. TSK, sister has really taken a wrong look. I didn't expect you not only to be incredibly stiff all over, but also to have such a miraculous knife technique in your hand. Guanyin walked slowly to the door, and in just a few breaths, she regained her usual seductive demeanor. Xu Hao smiled slightly and said, "Sister Shi, would you like to try it again?" The embroidered spring knife swung straight at Guanyin. Shockwave, first strike. Shuyuan. Guanyin was shocked and pale, the feeling of palpitations has once again struck. She was locked in a knife aura all over her body, and in an instant fell into stagnation. The true element in the body is difficult to operate, as if it is being restrained by some terrifying force. Although within one breath, I broke through the air lock, but she understands, although this kind of stagnation time is very short, in front of true experts, it's already deadly enough. Xu Hao's long sword remained silent. Guanyin has a feeling of being locked back in. In great shock, she quickly withdrew from the dilapidated temple. With the presence of this little genie guard, we cannot kill inviting moon, the days ahead are long, it's better to recover from the injuries first. Guanyin felt a sense of retreat and did not hesitate. She leaped with a flourish and lifted Jing Wuming up. Turning back to Xu Haoyin, he chuckled and said, "Sister, let's go first. Are you in the royal guards? I will find you." After speaking, the two of them took off flat and disappeared instantly into the rainy night. "Are you leaving now? You haven't returned my pill yet." Xu Hao murmured softly and finally breathed a sigh of relief. This battle had a significant element of luck. Guanyin and Jing Wuming were seriously injured before coming here, not demonstrating true strength. Otherwise, I would have to run for my life and it's impossible to complete the task. By the way, mission. Has the act of saving people been considered completed? Why hasn't there been a prompt sound yet? He looked at the invitation moon. Inviting moon met his gaze with a slight smile, her crystal-clear cheeks revealed shallow dimples. This smile is like a thawing glacier, melting snow in spring. Xu Hao's heart was pounding. In the novel, inviting moon is an absolute iceberg beauty, but what exactly does this beautiful smile mean? Perhaps Xu Hao couldn't help but shamelessly look forward to it. The efficacy of Zhujing Bingchan Dan has taken effect, inviting the moon's face regained a touch of vitality, and her breathing also calmed down a lot, but still very weak. After all, the injury is too severe and the poisoning is too deep. This is not a fantasy world, and one cannot rely on a pill to immediately resurrect with full blood. At least take a break. Is it because my task has not been completed yet? Xu Hao rubbed the center of his eyebrows with his fingers. Will the reward not be credited until she fully recovers? This system is also too cumbersome. Seeing Xu Hao's silence, inviting moon was shocked in her heart. Could it be that he was injured under the palm of Guanyin's palm? "You won't get hurt, will you?" Xu Hao regained his senses and said. "No, I'm worried about the palace master's injury." He took advantage of the situation and told a lie. This flower-moving palace is a powerful force in the martial arts world. The Grand Palace Master invites the moon and the second Princess Lianqing, both of whom are already half-step masters of cultivation. No, that was already many years ago. Now I'm afraid I've already become a great master. Well, we need to find a way to hold on to this thigh tightly. Perhaps with the care of the moving flower palace, one can safely navigate through the beginner's journey in this dangerous world. I'm much better now, thank you for your pill. I'm just feeling weak all over now. If it weren't for you, I would have died in the hands of Guanyin long ago. Inviting Moon lifted her delicate jade hands and straightened her messy sideburns. Just as she finished speaking, she even froze in thought. As the head of the flower-moving palace, she stands tall and proud of everything. If we switch to regular days, or if our partner is someone else, she would rather die than say such words. But for the person in front of her, she spoke so naturally. Even this kid reached out to help himself and naturally reached out to cooperate. What's going on here? But Xu Hao didn't know that there were so many inner scenes in inviting the moon. He helped the invitation moon sit still, and as the fire was about to extinguish, he quickly threw a few sticks of wood into it. The dim and dilapidated temple lit up. It's not suitable to stay here for a long time. Guanyin may come back at any time. Let's hurry and leave. The words came to a sudden halt, and Xu Hao saw drops of blood dripping from the golden belt of the invitation moon. The injury on your back is still bleeding. Inviting Moon nodded slightly and said with a bitter smile. Yes, Jing Wuming has driven 27 rainstorm pear flower nails behind me. Hurry up and leave, I can't move for a moment or 3. How about that? My reward hasn't been credited yet. Xu Hao roared in his heart. But with the gentlest smile on his face, he said. The words spoken by the palace master, not to mention that Guanyin has already run away, even if she comes back. Xu Hao, am not afraid. He couldn't help but look outside the door, afraid that good spirits wouldn't work and bad spirits wouldn't work. If Guanyin suddenly appears again, it is likely that her martial arts have recovered, and her own cow coins will be blown through. Originally, his name was Xu Hao. Inviting Moon's gaze was shining, and as soon as she was about to speak, she was already interrupted. I have some understanding of medical skills. Let me help you heal your injuries first, and then let's go together. Xu Hao's tone is resolute and cannot be refused. Inviting Moon couldn't help but nod slightly, but immediately shook her head again, hurt on the back, but the pear blossom nail has already sunk into the flesh. To heal the injury, it is necessary to undress. How can this work? Women are really troublesome. Xu Hao is a bit anxious. If Guanyin comes back, then neither of them will want to live. He arrived behind the invitation moon, his snow-white skirt dyed red and black, this Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Palace Master 006, the situation is critical. I will carry you on my back. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Palace Master 006, the situation is critical. I will carry you on my back. Xu Hao couldn't help but frown. The current situation is critical. Palace Master, please forgive me for being impolite. After speaking, gently tear off the back of the invitation moon with both hands, trying to show the surgical field as much as possible. Inviting the moon, my heart tightened. Although Mr. Xu is good-looking, he is quite rude. No one has ever dared to defy their own wishes, but now. How could they not develop a murderous heart? My face is scorching hot. A black spot appeared, and 27 pear blossom nails completely disappeared into the body. Black blood is constantly oozing out from it, shocking. Undoubtedly, it is the most vicious hidden weapon in the world. Even the invincible month of martial arts cannot be avoided. However, inviting the moon is indeed powerful, it can't be killed like this. Xu Hao operated the Taiqing True solution, with Taiqing True Qi filling his palm and approaching the back of the inviting moon, taking a deep breath in the air, a string of soft sounds, 27 miniature pear-shaped nails were all sucked onto the palm of the hand. Inviting moon gritted her teeth and let out a coquettish At this moment, she has lost all her skills and is unable to concentrate. She cannot use her skills to resist pain and can only rely on willpower to restrain herself. Xu Hao threw away the small nail in his hand, took out the best golden wound medicine, and sprinkled it on the wound. He looked at the torn clothes and couldn't help but rub his eyebrows with his fingers. what should I do if there are no needles or threads? Inviting the moon, covering her face with both hands and not daring to move. Xu Hao looked around and caught a glimpse of the clothes he had baked earlier, so he draped it on the back of the invitation moon. All right. Xu Hao clapped his hands and said. However, your injury is too severe and your poisoning is too deep. Although I have taken Zhujing Jinchan Dan, it may take about 10 days to recover. Inviting you lowered her head and let out a tightly pulling on the clothes draped over her back. This time has been delayed long enough, how come the reward hasn't been credited yet? Has the task not been completed yet? Xu Hao became puzzled. For some reason, he suddenly felt that the crisis was approaching. My intuition tells him that he can't stay here anymore. His intuition has always been very accurate. You better hurry up and leave. Shi Guanyin has a huge influence behind him, and his brother Shi Zhishuan is also in the Ming Dynasty. If he found it, you wouldn't be able to leave even more. Inviting Moon lowered her head and whispered. Shi Zhishuan. Evil King Stone Pavilion. Xu Hao was stunned. What kind of world is this? Shi Guanyin and Shi Zhishuan are actually two siblings. In previous life's film and television novels, the two of them couldn't fight each other, right? You're talking about Shi Zhishuan, isn't it the evil king of the Great Sui dynasty? Xu Hao tentatively asked. That's right, it's the world-renowned evil King Stone Pavilion. This. Why are all figures at the level of great masters? Am I involved in a terrifying vortex? I'm just an ant. Xu Hao has a black line on his head. Well, first earn the coins and improve your strength. He picked up the embroidered spring knife, squatted down suddenly, and said to the invitation moon, come up. Inviting you looked at Xu Hao in shock, with a bewildered expression on her face. This brain Xu Hao had to say again, I'll carry you on my back. What? Inviting the moon, she suddenly woke up and shook her head in embarrassment. Do you want to kill me? Xu Hao angrily said, it's all at this level, this woman is still wriggling, if it weren't for not wanting to give up halfway, I would have run away long ago. Inviting you's heart was shaken. If she didn't follow this kid, delayed time, whether it was Shi Guanyin or Shi Zhishuan, as long as one comes, it's highly likely that both of us will die. It doesn't matter if you die yourself, but it will implicate him. Inviting Moon took a sneak glance and saw this guy with a tiger back and a bare waist, even his spine was so majestic, don't you come up yet. Xu Hao was about to erupt when suddenly a gust of fragrant wind blew through his back, followed by a tingling sensation. He no longer hesitated, exerted his strength, and ran towards the outside of the dilapidated temple. This guy doesn't know lightness skill. Invite the moon to complain crazily in his heart. Xu Hao relied on his powerful physical strength to stride several zhang in one step and run like a flying horse on the official road, just landing too hard. Every time you land, inviting the moon feels like her heart, liver, spleen, lungs, and kidneys are about to be thrown out. I had no choice but to desperately clamp around this kid's neck at dawn, the Ming Dynasty, the capital city. Somewhere in a small courtyard. The sound of the Qin is lingering, at the beginning, like the babbling water under a small bridge, ding ding dong dong, interspersed with a few clear cries of lonely swans flying by, clear and pleasant to the ear, finally, like a lover whispering, carrying endless affection. An old man who looked like a butler listened for a while with his head tilted, then shook his head. This little butterfly girl stayed up all night, she must be missing the young master again. He touched the goat's chin and started pacing back and forth. According to Lord Shen, if the young master goes out to handle business, he will be home last night. This night has passed and we haven't seen anyone yet, can't something be wrong? In a moment of anxiety, a rapid knocking sound echoed at the entrance, then a very familiar voice came in. Su Fu, Su Fu. The young master has returned, why don't you come over and open the door quickly? Ha! The young master has returned. Su Fu's eyes lit up, and the sound of the Qin in the courtyard trembled, but it stopped. Yo! Young master, you have finally returned. Wait, I will open the door now. Su Fu responded loudly, running all the way to open the door. At the moment he opened the door, he was stunned. Xu Hao stood at the door, covered in mud, the embroidered spring knife was hanging haphazardly on the waist, the flying fish suit was crooked, the chest was open, and even the blasphemy clothes were missing from inside, so embarrassed. There was still a woman in white clothes on her back, draped with a piece of cloth, and her hair covered her face, making it difficult to see her appearance clearly. If it weren't for hearing Xu Hao's voice, Su Fu would have thought these two people were starving people who were struggling to come there. Young master. Su Fu looked puzzled. Stop talking nonsense, quickly prepare a guest room. This girl needs to rest. Su Fu curled his lips and chuckled in Xu Hao's ear. Young master, isn't your room just a ready-made good room? Xu Hao patted Su Fu on the back of his head and angrily said, You old and unscrupulous person, what kind of person do you think I am? Go. This old guy has some ideas, but isn't this pushing himself into a fire pit? Who is inviting the moon? The Grand Palace Master of the Flower-Moving Palace. Just hearing a name can make people tremble with fear. Cold-faced killing god, unless she is willing, she is living impatiently. Xu Hao gave the old butler a stern glance. Tiaran, a soft and warm voice rang in everyone's ears, the 3 rooms in the east wing are all clean. Young master, you can take this girl there. It sounds like bathing in the spring breeze, indescribable warmth and softness, sweet to the heart and lungs. Inviting the moon, looking up in surprise, a graceful and elegant woman in purple clothes appeared beside them at an unknown time. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 007, I, Lan Xiaodie, am just the young master's maid. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 007, I, Lan Xiaodie, am just the young master's maid. Inviting the moon suddenly brightened her eyes. The girl in front of me has an appearance that is no less than her own. The person was dressed in a purple jumpsuit with an orange satin stripe tied around their waist, highlighting their slender and symmetrical figure. Her black hair, as black as a waterfall, was casually tied onto a jade hairpin. Her temples fluttered with the morning breeze, gently brushing against her crystal-clear and beautiful face. His demeanor are varied. What's even more touching is her captivating pair of sharp and watery eyes, with flowing autumn water and a slightly shy smile at the corners of her lips, making people intoxicated. This kid has great fortune, there is such a beautiful woman in the family. Xu Hao put down the invitation month, and Su Fu had already waved to the courtyard. Green E, take this girl to take a shower and change clothes, and arrange to rest in the east wing. A green-clad maid agreed and walked over. Xu Hao said to the invitation month, you can stay here for now and leave after you recover. Inviting the moon with a sound, she lowered her head and followed the maid in green before leaving. Fortunately, no one knows here. If anyone sees the disheveled appearance of the Grand Palace Master of the Flower-Moving Palace, I don't have the face to see anyone myself. Su Fu fawningly chuckled and meaningfully looked up and down at Xu Hao. Xu Hao couldn't help but grab his ear. What are you thinking about, this old thing? We haven't happened anything. Su Fu's canthus teeth shouted loudly, Ayo. Young master, it hurts. I understand, I understand. The girl in purple pursed her lips and chuckled, Young master, if your clothes are dirty, let little butterfly help you take a shower and change clothes. Xu Hao let go of Su Fu with a sound and said, the girl who was injured just now hasn't recovered and needs rest. You need to pay attention to her needs, try to satisfy her as much as possible, don't wait too long, otherwise we won't be able to survive. You know. Su Fu was surprised and looked at the direction in which the invitation moon disappeared, saying, why, this girl is actually someone with a lot of background. The boss is so big that it's scary. Anyway, don't ask and take good care of him, otherwise, if you were killed by her, you would have died in vain. I can't help you seek revenge. Su Fu extended his tongue. Xu Hao then said to the woman next to him named Little Butterfly, let's go. After being rained on all night and running all night, it's really tiring and dirty. Wash it well, by the way, add some rose petals to the water. The last time the crabapple wasn't fragrant enough. Little Butterfly happily promises. Xu Hao turned his head again and said to Su Fu. Su Fu, go to Lu Yu Lu and buy some wine and vegetables. I feel like I can eat a cow. Good young master. Su Fu looked at the young master's back with a glint in his eyes. He gently shook his head. Young master, I don't know if the string has broken. What kind of genie guard do you do? Well, to arrest this and that, we're really going to encounter a tough problem. There's a long and short story about how I went missing, the master told me. At noon, Xiaodie invites the moon to have a meal. She was equally shocked when she saw the invitation moon after changing clothes. When asked about the name, inviting moon didn't want to say that she was from the moving flower palace, so I used the pseudonym Suyue. She also knew that the girl in purple was called Lan Xiaodie. As for Xu Hao, Xiaodie said he will return to the royal guard's yamen after breakfast. I haven't come back yet. After finishing the meal, inviting moon walked out and carefully examined this small courtyard. The house does not have the pavilions and towers of the wealthy. The building is very simple, divided into two entrances in front and back. After entering the gate, you can see two rows of rooms, east and west. The center is the hall, and passing through the hall leads to the back hall. The back hall is mainly composed of wing rooms. There are 6 people living in the whole house: Xu Hao, Lan Xiaodie, Su Fu, 2 maids, and a kitchen assistant. Plus myself, there are only 7 people now. Although the courtyard is small, it is kept clean and tidy. The furnishings are also quite elegant, giving a comfortable feeling of being at home. The yard is not big. We'll finish browsing in a while. Little Butterfly brewed fragrant tea and inviting Moon to sit down in the small hall in the back hall. There is an elegant tea table in the small hall. The two sat down, but the gaze of the inviting Moon was drawn to the 2 black guqin instruments on the right. On one side is a standard harp, lying horizontally on the table, while on the other side is a delicate pipa. Sister Suyue, please have some tea. Little Butterfly presented a white porcelain blue and white teacup. She saw the beautiful appearance and extraordinary demeanor of the invitation moon, and her every move and gesture naturally exuded a majestic aura. Obviously, it is the temperament of those who have long held high positions. Do you know that she is not an ordinary person, but also a friend brought back by the young master, and may even be in love? Although her heart seemed slightly heavy as if someone had placed a lead on it, she still did not neglect it at all. Inviting you withdrew her gaze, picked up the teacup, took a gentle sip, and said, Miss, your piano skills must be good. Xiaodie smiled lightly and said, if my young master hears your words, he will definitely mock me again. Actually, my piano skills are average, but my practice is in the field of sound wave skills, so I often play it, which is actually for practicing martial arts. Surprisingly, it's sound wave work. The heart of inviting the moon is in awe. This skill is extremely difficult to cultivate, so it is rare in the martial arts world, but once refined, it has infinite power and can fight beyond its level. I didn't expect such a beautiful and delicate girl to be practicing sound wave art. She gritted her teeth, changed the topic, and tentatively said, there aren't many people in your mansion, aren't you and Xu Hao prepared to add a few more? The voice of inviting the moon decreases as it speaks. She didn't understand it herself, as she had always been indifferent to these mundane matters. Surprisingly, you can ask so much. Blue Butterfly was slightly surprised, but in an instant, she understood the meaning of inviting the moon. Her pretty face blushed slightly, and she hurriedly said, Sister Suyue, you misunderstood. Xiaodie is just the young master's maid, and the young master is still unmarried, so. But at the same time, she suddenly felt an inexplicable release in her heart. What? You? There was a misunderstanding. Inviting the moon is embarrassing, but this really surprised her a lot. the cultivation of the half-step master of inviting the moon naturally has excellent eyesight. She had already noticed that Lan Xiaodie had cultivation in her body, and at least it's already in its later stages of development. Far taller than that kid Xu Hao, unexpectedly just an unnamed and insignificant maid. Upon closer inspection, the blue butterfly is clear and transparent, with hidden pearls and sand. Surprisingly, she is still a virgin. So she bathes and changes clothes for Xu Hao every day. That scene. Well, maybe I really overthought it. A strange feeling rose in the heart of inviting moon. She quickly cleared her throat and took out a small golden sachet from her arms. Suyue girl, what a delicate brocade bag. At some point, Su Fu also arrived at the back hall. Inviting the moon with a slight nod, she took out a small folded paper from her brocade pouch. Su Fu glanced and couldn't help but swallow his saliva, his eyes seeming to emit light Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 008 doesn't know, does this guy still have this kind of ability? You are listening at novelfull.audio. 008 doesn't know, does this guy still have this kind of ability? Inviting the moon, hand the origami to Su Fu. Dao said, here are 200,000 taels of silver notes. Take this money with you, go buy a nice and bigger house for your young master. 200,000 taels. Su Fu's voice became sharp. This. I can't accept it, I can't accept it. Take me, I'm afraid the young master will kill me. Saying without stopping, but he was agile in his hands and had already taken it in an instant. He was afraid of inviting the moon to rebel. Take it over and immediately put it in your pocket, then turn around and leave. I'll do it now. Su Fu was harboring resentment in his heart. Young master, this is about to start. Relying on his good looks, I don't know where to turn in such a stunning woman, not only wealthy, but also astonishingly generous. With one move, it's 200,000 taels, 200,000 taels. In the Kyushu continent, regardless of which dynasty, a high-ranking official in the imperial court, who receives only a few hundred taels of silver per year, ordinary people have a meager income. Earning 20 taels a year is already quite impressive. So 200,000, it's definitely a huge sum of money. This girl gave it out casually, she's really rich. Young master, you probably won't scold me shamelessly, will you? After all, buying a mansion doesn't exceed 5,000 taels. Anyway, he's even more shameless than me. Su Fu confidently went out. Lan Xiaodie smiled bitterly and shook her head, saying, Su, the butler, and the young master are both the same, but on the surface, they are not bound by small details. Essentially, they are all quite particular people. Sister Suyue, don't take it to heart. Inviting you nodded and said, he and your young master have a good relationship, right? Yes, the young master has not yet been born, and the butler is already in the Su family. It can be said that they watched the young master grow up, and their relationship has always been very good. The grandfather of the young master is the renowned founding hero Su Tianda. His father was the famous General Su Fengnan, Marquis of Wuhan, who shook the western region 10 years ago. Inviting the moon couldn't help but be moved. Marquis of Wuhan, Su Fengnan. 10 years ago, Su Fengnan, the Marquis of Wuhan, who was cultivated by the great master, with a silver spear, the Lan dynasty under the control of the Indian Buddhist kingdom couldn't lift its head, make the then powerful Lan dare not take any further steps eastward. Su Fengnan's reputation has spread far and wide throughout the world. Later, the Buddhist kingdom of India sent two high-ranking monks from the great master realm, send a battle letter to Emperor Ming using the method of provocation, engage in battle with Marquis Wuhan at Meili Snow Mountain, agree to cede 20 cities to the defeated side and pay tribute for generations. But unexpectedly, after Marquis Wuhan made an appointment with a friend from the same major division, all four of them went missing in the Snow Mountain. For 10 years, there has been no news and it has become a martial arts mystery. I didn't expect Xu Hao to have such a rich background. Inviting the moon couldn't help but think of his sturdy waist and back, but since he is the son of a hero, go and become a colonel of the royal guards, isn't it too down to earth? She suddenly became curious about Xu Hao when she thought of this. How is this person? That's great. Speaking of the young master, Lan Xiaodie's eyebrows lit up and she said, the young master is kind to others and never indulges in extravagance and alcohol. He detests the land of fireworks even more. Education Department. What? Jing Wuming and Guanyin actually came to Daming. Shen Lian widened his eyes and looked incredulous. Xu Hao calmly dried the fine wine in his glass, then waved his hand and dismissed the flower leader who accompanied the wine. Boss, I saw everything myself and almost lost my life. Why did I lie to you? Said the speaker. He reported to the Yamen in the morning, and at lunchtime, he arrived at the Jiaofang office with Shen Lian. I just added fuel and vinegar to my boasting about last night's incident. Of course, he didn't mention the invitation to the moon. Moving the flower palace requires face. If you blow it around, it has spread to the rivers and lakes. Even if inviting moon doesn't kill him, Lianqing will still take his life. Shen Lian patted Xu Hao's shoulder and filled him with wine. Your son has a great fortune. It is rumored that Guanyin has already become a great master's cultivation. Tianwu's nerves have few opponents, and those hands are invisible to men. It is even more powerful than Western Xinjiang, making people feel intimidated by the news. You can escape from Xingtian under her command. It's really you. Xu Hao clinked his glass and said, that's luck. Shen Lian said again, yesterday you were not here. Lord Baihu has an order. Let's all the royal guards below 100 households prepare well. Actively participate in the competition for 200 households positions, and prepare yourself well, young man. Xu Hao exclaimed in shock at the words. Isn't the official position of the royal guards always predetermined internally? How come there are hundreds of positions available for everyone this time, and there are still 2? Shen Liandao said, this was proposed by Duke Chao of the East Factory to the Emperor, and Commander Qin Long also agreed. Xu Hao was puzzled and said, surprisingly, it was Chao Shaoqin's idea. Is this the medicine that sells that sect? Shen Lian nodded and said. These 200 households, one in charge of intelligence and the other in charge of supervision and arrest, are extraordinary. Chao Shaoqin wanted to directly install people from 2 East factories to serve as 100 houses, but was opposed by Qin Long and Iron Gallbladder God Hozhu, who ignored him. The Emperor and the Mud, coupled with Empress Wan's desire to watch the excitement, agreed to Chao Shaoqin's proposal. Dongchang and Jinyiwei, people with positions below 100 households, and even members of the capital's public gates, are all eligible to compete. It turned out to be related to party disputes. Xu Hao understood. My cultivation level is too low, I'll just forget it. Killing people like this doesn't bring blood. Boss, you should take it easy on your own. The officialdom is a place of power and position. The royal guards are surrounded by beautiful scenery outside, and people are afraid of each other, but inside, there are clear barriers, and noble sons and heirs gather together, mixed bottom, sometimes like a grandson. He understood Shen Lian's upward climbing mood. The 100 households of the royal guards have small official positions but great power, so the competition must be fierce. The people in the East Factory eat without seeing blood. They are even more ruthless than the royal guards. This kind of thing carries a certain level of danger, so I'll just keep it to myself. If it weren't for this broken system, I would have been a genie guard for a few years. I have been operating a medicinal herb business in a small courtyard for a long time. Su family courtyard. It turns out that your young master was born out of wedlock and was expelled from the Su family 8 years ago. After listening to Lan Xiaodie talk about Xu Hao, inviting you sighed in her heart, I didn't expect the kid who saved himself to have such a rough fate. Lan Xiaodie, however, looked proud and said, our young master is not sinking, he excels in medical skills, is knowledgeable in pharmacology, and operates in major pharmacies in the city. Everyone is eager for the young master to be their offering. the largest pharmacy in the capital, Yao Shanzhai, let the young master occasionally guide the refining of medicine, including the semicolons of the 12 surrounding cities of the capital. I give the young master a 20% share every month, so his income is still acceptable. Inviting Yu Qi Dao, refining medicine. How could he still have this ability? Lan Xiaodie nodded and said, yes, he also has a small Dan room here. Let's go, I'll take you to take a look. Inviting Moon followed Little Butterfly into a room with a strong medicinal smell. As far as her gaze could see, she immediately froze. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. 009 reward received, cultivation upgraded. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 009 reward received, cultivation upgraded. As soon as Inviting Moon followed Little Butterfly into the room, she was stunned by the situation in front of her. On the side of the wall in the room, there were various sizes of alchemy stoves and pharmaceutical equipment that she couldn't recognize. On the other side, there is a long 5-story shelf. First to enter the eye, it's the pill I took last night, pearl-eyed golden toad pill. At this moment, the pearl-eyed golden toad pill that is hard to find in the martial arts world, there are probably dozens of them, casually thrown into a small tray. It seems like garbage that can be discarded at any time. Following the shelf step by step, the more I looked at the Invitation Moon, the more I felt uneasy. There are plates full of pills on top. Even if the Invitation Moon is well known, it cannot recognize all the names, but those who recognize it, even if she is honored as the Lord of the Flower-Moving Palace, her heart cannot help but shake with excitement. Black Jade Intermittent Cream, De Huan Dan, Sheng Sheng Zao Hua Dan, Tian Xiang Intermittent Gel, and so on. No one is not the holy potion that shakes the martial arts world. How could he even do it? How demonic is this? Jiaofang Department. Shen Lian stood up, patted Xu Hao's shoulder, full of arrogance, and said, brother, I understand everything you say, and you also know, without a back end, how difficult it is for the promotion of the royal guards to be. The 100 households struggle this time is mainly focused on martial arts. For me, it's at least an opportunity. I want to give it a try. Xu Hao remained silent. Shen Lian continued, all right, let's not say that. I'm going to White Tiger's place now. Come to my house tonight and have your sister in-law cook something you love. Call on Li Mingchang and Zhou Bin. Our brothers don't get drunk and don't come back. Watching Shen Lian leave, Xu Hao's heart couldn't help but burst. Chao Xiaoqin, this is an ambitious eunuch, old silver coin. Whether it's martial arts, strategy, or power, everything is top-notch. How could he easily give up on what he wanted to plan? Moreover, in the royal guards, the relationship between Zhuke, Xuanwu, and Chao Xiaoqin seems very subtle. This 100 household struggle, it clearly involves a conflict of interests, which may not be a good thing. Suddenly, ding, congratulations to the host. Successfully completed the task and received a reward of 200 gold coins. Wishing the host a pleasant use. A familiar voice sounded, system reward received. Xu Hao was overjoyed. Has it finally been credited? I thought this damn system crashed. He quickly called up the panel, host. Xu Hao, identity. Colonel of the Royal Guards, cultivation. Congenital double, task. Currently unavailable, skills. Taiqing True Solution, at the Earth level, later stage of gaining a glimpse of the path. Vajra Divine Skill, at the heavenly level, early stage of entering the hall and room. Shocking God / at the heavenly level, later stage of achieving some accomplishments. Skill. Doctor's Hand, ascending the hall and entering the room. System space. Taiqing Jinyiwei Cultivation Plate, automatic cultivation and continuous evolution. Vajra Divine Skill Cultivation Plate, automatic cultivation and continuous evolution. Jingshan Zhan Cultivation Plate, automatic cultivation and continuous evolution. Huangdi Neijing, automatic cultivation and continuous evolution. System All. Not yet open, communication. Not yet open, gold coin balance. 200 gold coins have indeed arrived in my account. After the last confrontation with Guanyin, he realized the urgency of improving his cultivation level. The gap between major grades is difficult to overcome in terms of strength. The cultivation level is too low, even if there is a heavenly level skill, also unable to exert maximum power. Given the current situation in the martial arts world, there are still quite a few Grandmaster realms. While the Grandmaster realm is almost the ceiling, I rarely hear of the existence of the realm of heaven and humanity, and even if there is, it should not be much. The opportunities encountered must be rare. For today's plan, we should strive to improve our cultivation as much as possible. At least having the ability to fight against the master is considered barely able to protect oneself. I have the heavenly skill Vajra Divine Skill and the shocking God Slash. When the cultivation level is elevated to the later stage of energy transformation, I should be able to truly fight against the master. After careful analysis by Xu Hao, decided to invest all the gold coins in Taiqing Jinyiwei. Taiqing Jinyiwei is an extremely mysterious internal skill, although it costs more gold coins than the other three, but it has an adverse effect on improving cultivation and expanding true essence. He couldn't imagine that after deducing this skill to the heavenly level, and how strong will it be after the cultivation level is improved. Taiqing Jinyiwei also has a characteristic of being light-hearted. To cultivate this skill, one must wait until after reaching the Grandmaster's realm, only then can one break through, otherwise the yang energy will dissipate. We can only stop at the realm of our master, there will never be a chance to open the heavenly gate. Xu Hao once complained about this crazily. I even thought about changing my techniques. After all, how heartless it is to deprive oneself of the qualification to be a man now. Where are the techniques that serious men should practice? Shen Lian, these old colored coins, every time we have a meeting, we come to the Education Bureau, who can bear this special. Now Xu Hao is relieved that this is a world of the jungle. There are some things that you can't just avoid if you want to. Not strong enough, I may not even know how to die. Moreover, as long as we can reach the Grandmaster realm earlier, can the problem of being a man be naturally solved? So becoming stronger is the hard truth. Xu Hao clicked on the Taiqing True Solution practice plate and selected Yes in the pop-up dialog box, and then all the coins were released, until the prompt of Accelerating appeared. The system was turned off and the teacher left the workshop. Inviting the moon should wake up. We need to go back and take a look. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. The shock of inviting the moon in 010, this technique should not be used in the world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The shock of inviting the moon in 010, this technique should not be used in the world. Su Family Courtyard. Looking at the dazzling array of various pills, inviting moon worked hard to maintain a calm surface. Suddenly, a few low moans came from the corner of the wall, inviting the moon to come to her senses from shock. Only then did I realize that there was still a cage in a corner of the house. In the cage, a big yellow dog was crawling there, struggling to stand up. There is a large white cloth tied around the waist, which is very conspicuous. It saw the blue butterfly coming over, with a cheerful expression in its eyes. Shake your head, wildly swing your tail, and make the iron cage crackle. Xiaodie reached out and patted the iron cage, saying, Ha, I feel much more energetic today. Ha. Invite the month in the heart roast. What is this name? Shouldn't it be something like rhubarb or Xiao Huang? Xiaodie smiled and said. Isn't that a strange name? It was given to him by the young master. Sure enough, it's this kid again. Inviting the moon has a sudden feeling. Little Butterfly's childlike heart grew stronger. She rolled up her skirt and crouched down to tease Ha. Then he said, these two are really lucky. 5 days ago, for some unknown reason, it was hit by a heart-wrenching palm. Surprisingly, it struggled to come back. But it also collapsed at the door on the brink of death. Urgent palm. So, someone from the Qing sect has also come to the capital. The invitation moon pondered. Xiaodie patted her jade palm and stood up, saying. Yes, the young master found out on the same day. It was Yurenhao from the Qingqing sect who had his hand chopped off by the young master. Inviting Moon's lips curved slightly, this kid. It would be strange if I didn't kill him. She looked at Ha and asked in confusion. If you hit the heart-inducing palm, your heart will crack into 8 pieces. Even if the person who made the move showed mercy, an ordinary person wouldn't be able to endure long after being slapped. How could a dog without cultivation live to this day? Lan Xiaodie nodded and said. Well, if it weren't for the young master saving it, it would have died a long time ago. The young master changed his heart for it. Lan Xiaodie doesn't speak loudly, but these few words, but like a bomb, roaming in the ears of inviting Moon, she finally changed her complexion. She asked incredulously, heart to heart. Are you saying heart to heart? Well, the young master personally went to the dog meat dealer's place, bring back a dog heart and replace it with Ha. Look, it's getting more and more energetic now, it's recovering very well. Inviting the Moon, she was stunned. Can you really graft and exchange hearts? What kind of miraculous medical technique is this? Even the renowned doctors Duanmu Rong and Hu Qingyo in contemporary Kyushu cannot achieve it, can they? If that's really the case, isn't he supposed to switch to whatever part he wants? Inviting the Moon reminds me of Xu Hao, who once said that he has a slight understanding of medical skills. In the dilapidated temple. At that time, I thought he was bragging. Now it seems that this is even more divine than a divine doctor. Inviting the Moon suddenly had a sudden inspiration. Isn't the crown prince of Emperor Ming suffering from a rare and strange illness? The imperial court's imperial physician, after repeated visits, cannot cure it. It is said that the organs are damaged, and one's life is not long. This kid can even exchange a dog's heart. Maybe he can also cure the crown prince's illness. Emperor Ming is quite polite to me at the flower-moving palace. It's okay to help him this time. At this moment, Xu Hao's howl came in from afar. Su Fu, you old thing, you're going to die again. Your young master, I'm back to the mansion. Ningyan City. This city is about 100 miles west of the capital city. The soil and water are abundant and fertile, located in the east-west pivot zone. Therefore, there is a gathering of business travelers and abundant resources, although it is not as prosperous as the brocade in Mingjing, nor is it as beautiful as the Yanlu painting bridge and the wind curtain and green curtain in Jinling, but it can also be considered one of the major cities in the Ming Dynasty. In the city, a courtyard with flying eaves and hanging corners. In the luxurious hall, there were several people dressed in luxurious robes. If Xu Hao were here, I can definitely recognize one of the stunning women in an orange brocade dress. It's sure Guanyin. Jing Wuming has removed the black cloth covering his face, and the crimson scar extends from his eyes to the corner of his mouth. On the pale face with sharp edges, it was exceptionally terrifying. The right hand is not lightly injured, tightly bandaged. Across from them, Shi Zhishuan, dressed in a green robe, stood with his hands behind his back, gazing through the courtyard at the drifting white clouds in the sky. To fully recover from Jing Wuming's injury, black jade intermittent cream is necessary. Shi Zhishuan's voice is calm and composed, with a calm demeanor. He slowly withdrew his gaze and looked at Shi Guanyin, saying, "You have been living in the western regions for a long time, so you should know about this medicine." Shi Guanyin nodded and said. Although black jade intermittent cream is a secret medicine of the Vajra Gate, according to the Fire Master, due to the scarcity of raw materials, they haven't refined this medicine for a long time. So even if you go to the Diamond Gate, you may not necessarily get the black jade intermittent cream. Shi Zhishuan nodded and said. Well, arrange for the people below to go to the Diamond Gate. As for the invitation to the Moon, most likely it was accompanied by the royal guards to the capital. I have arranged for someone to inquire, and there should be news coming back soon. Shi Guanyin bit her silver teeth and said. Unfortunately, they managed to escape this time. The martial arts of the royal guards are very extraordinary, although they only have innate cultivation. But his Diamond Divine Skill does indeed resist beating, as well as his swordsmanship. Not only does it have the characteristics of external condensation of the gas engine, but it also. And that the meaning of the Grandmaster's realm has also been able to be partially realized. Even from his attack, I could feel a hint of domain scent. Generally speaking, that is a divine ability that only great masters possess. My intuition tells me that if this person achieves great swordsmanship, it will be incredibly terrifying. Shi Zhishuan raised his sword eyebrows and looked disdainful on his white and unnecessary face, saying, "Innate, no matter how powerful, it's just an ant. You can easily crush it to death, you don't have to worry too much." He paused and then said, "Lin Tiandu, 1,000 households of the Genie Guard, is one of our people. He summoned me. Emperor Ming will publicly select 200 households of the Royal Guards from the East Factory and the Royal Guards, both of which are very important positions. If you want me to recommend a capable person to go over, who do you think is more suitable?" Shi Guanyin said strangely, "The selection of the Royal Guards is still necessary. Isn't it all predetermined?" Shi Zhishuan said, "This is the result of the wrestling between Chao Shaoqin and Qin Long, and Consort Wan likes to watch the excitement. What else can't Ming Emperor, this foolish ruler, do?" Shi Guanyin said, "Can't you? Even Qin Long can resist Chao Shaoqin." Shi Zhishuan said, "He is not the only one. Behind Qin Long, there is the Iron Gallbladder God Marquis, as well as the support of Prince Xian and a group of ministers." Shi Guanyin suddenly said, "That's no wonder. Didn't Su Yan come with you to Deming? He's already half a step master, I think it's quite appropriate for him to go." Shi Zhishuan nodded and said, It's what I thought." Then, he turned to a young man wearing a plain white brocade robe and said, "Then you can go to Lin Tiandu's place first, so that you can compete as the Royal Guards." Yang Xuyan stood up and saluted, saying, "I will strictly follow the orders of my master." Shi Guanyin said, "Su Yan, if you encounter the Genie Guard I mentioned, kill him." Yang Xuyan said, "Okay." Shi Zhishuan said, "Go ahead, be careful." Yang Xuyan bowed out and rushed to the capital city of Ming. Qin Ming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.